Oxford Bookworm's Library. Stage 1. The Lottery Winner by Rosemary Border was originally published in English in 2007. This licensed edition is published by Foreign Language Teaching and Research Press by arrangement with Oxford University Press.
Chapter 1. The Bag-snatcher. One Saturday afternoon, in a small town, Emma Carter came out of a shoe shop with some new shoes. They were cheap shoes, but Emma was very pleased with them. She was 73 years old and did not have much money. She began to walk home. A nice cup of tea, she thought, and then I can go for a walk in my new shoes. It was a quiet town, and there was nobody in the street. Suddenly, Emma heard something behind her. She did not have time to look, because just then somebody ran up behind her, hit her on the head, and snatched her bag out of her hands. Emma fell down on her back. Then she looked up and saw a tall young man with long, dirty brown hair. He stood and looked down at her for a second. Then he ran away with Emma's bag under his arm. "Help! Help!" Emma cried. But nobody came. And after 2 or 3 minutes, Emma slowly got up and went to the nearest house. The people there were very kind. They gave Emma a cup of tea, and soon an ambulance came and took her to hospital. At the hospital, a doctor looked at Emma's head and back. "You're going to be okay," he said. "Just take it easy for a day or 2. Can your husband help you at home?" "My husband died 8 years ago," said Emma. "There's only me at home." "Well," the doctor said, "we don't want you to feel ill and fall downstairs at home, so I think you must stay in hospital for tonight, and perhaps tomorrow night too." Later, a policeman came to the hospital, and Emma told him about the bag-snatcher. "Did anybody see this young man?" he asked. "I don't know," said Emma, "but there was nobody in the street when I called for help." "Oh dear," the policeman said. "What was in your bag?" "A little money and a lottery ticket," said Emma. "I buy a ticket every Saturday. Then, on Saturday evening, I watch the lottery on television. I always have the same numbers: 5, 12, 23, 24, 38, 41. All those numbers are important to me. I was born on the 5th of December, 1923. I lived at number 24 Sandwich Road for 38 years. Yes, said the policeman. "I understand." He wrote everything down in a little black book. "Did you see the man's face?" he asked. "Yes," said Emma, "I did. I fell on my back and he looked down at me for a second. So I saw his face." The policeman opened a small bag. In it, There were a lot of pictures of eyes and ears, hair and mouths. I need a picture of the man's face. Can you help me? He said.
Yes,
said Emma.
He was tall and he had long, dirty brown hair. He wore blue trousers and a white shirt with a picture of a footballer. He had brown eyes.
Carefully, she took the small pictures and made a big picture of the young man's face. She checked the picture carefully. What colour were his shoes? Asked the policeman. Shoes! Suddenly Emma remembered her new shoes. Where were they? She told the policeman about her shoes, but then she began to cry and could not stop. A nurse came up to Emma's bed. Please go now, she said to the policeman. Mrs. Carter needs to sleep. Chapter 2. The Winning Ticket. Jason Williams came home and sat down on his bed. He was 22 years old. He lived with his father and mother in 3 small rooms at the top of a tall building. Every day he went out, but he did not go to work. Jason stole things. Sometimes he stole things from shops or cars. And sometimes he stole money from old people, like Emma Carter. Today he was angry. I took that old woman's bag, he thought. What did I get? £2.74 and a lottery ticket. And it was an old, cheap bag too. Jason knew about lottery tickets. He bought 5 tickets every weekend. He put Emma's lottery ticket in his pocket and forgot about it. Then he went out for a drink. At the hospital, a nurse put Emma to bed in a room with 5 other women. There was a television in the room, and at 8 o'clock everybody watched the lottery. For a minute, Emma watched too. But she felt very tired, and soon she closed her eyes and slept. So she did not hear the winning numbers for that week's lottery. On Sunday at 12 o'clock, Jason got out of bed and made some tea. Then he opened his father's newspaper and found the winning lottery numbers: 5, 12, 23, 24, 38, 41. He checked his 5 lottery tickets. "No good," he said. Then he remembered the old woman's ticket and checked those numbers too: 5, 12, 23, 24, 38, 41. He checked them 3 times. 6 winning numbers. "I'm a winner," he said. He kissed the ticket. Then he ran into the living room and kissed his mother. "Here, what's the matter, Jason?" said Lily Williams. Jason sometimes hit her, but he did not usually kiss her. Her cigarette fell out of her mouth. "The lottery! I'm this week's winner, Mum! Look, 6 winning numbers! I'm rich!" Jason's father came into the living room. "What's all this noise?" he said. "Joe! Joe!" said Lily. "Jason's got 6 winning numbers in the lottery. We're rich." "Wrong," said Jason. "I'm rich." His mother and father began to speak at the same time, but Jason did not listen. He went out to the telephone box in the street and made a very important telephone call. On Monday morning, a policeman came to the hospital with Emma's new shoes. A little girl found them in the street and took them to the police station. He said, "How kind of her," said Emma. "We found your bag too," said the policeman. "But there's nothing in it, Mrs. Carter. I'm sorry."
"It doesn't matter," said Emma. "I'm very pleased to have the bag. My son gave it to me a long time ago. He lives in Australia, but he telephones me every week. And now I've got my new shoes too. Thank you very much." Suddenly, she felt happier. That evening, an ambulance took Emma home. She made a cup of tea and sat down to watch the television news. The newsreader smiled into Emma's living room. And now for this week's lottery winner. The winning numbers were 5, 12, 23, 24, 38, 41. And here is the man with the winning ticket, Jason Williams. Jason is 22, and now he's a rich man. He's got a cheque from Sunshine Lotteries for £5 million. That's a lot of money. Well, Jason, how are you feeling tonight? Wonderful. And what are you going to do with your money? Oh, I'm going to buy a house with 50 rooms and a big expensive car. I'm going to go to New York, Miami. Emma looked at the young man on the television. Jason Williams had a big smile on his face, but he had long, dirty brown hair,
brown eyes. Emma sat up quickly.
"That's the man," she thought. "I remember his face. He hit me and snatched my bag and stole my lottery ticket. My winning ticket, with my winning numbers."
She got up and went to the telephone.
"Hello, police,"
she said.